Welcome to episode 19 of Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling. My name is William Fizzpatrick, and, well, this is the second of our two double headers this week on Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling, as last Sunday we had to cover the sumo show, the Nagoya Basho show, which is also now available as well. Thank you for those of you who tuned in on a busy Sunday to watch the show.
Yeah, I was actually surprised we broke 20 with a sumo show, but I'm happy.
I think we broke 23 with the first sumo show, so it's about average of where it is. And so this is kind of a special show for me. It's funny that we have a 50s theme going on with the ambulance intermission at the drive-thru theater because, well, this is my 50th broadcast since Survivor Series 2015, and wow.
Yeah.
Kind of
congrats.
Thanks. I can't believe I really got here because, like, I've been doing speaks, and then I decided this year to start doing my old show again, and it's been a really wild ride. You know, speaks, live after SmackDown Live, the live after shows. Everything has just been going so interesting as far as this little hobby of mine, this podcasting, and I've really enjoyed, expressing my thoughts on the world of professional wrestling. I know that some people might agree or disagree with them. It doesn't really matter to me in this case because I like talking about professional wrestling, and I see things that some people might not notice at first, and it's good to, be able to discuss those things and do podcasting with somebody who's really interested in the field, like my co-host Sal Cusmano.
Hey, guys. Well, I'm glad I can be here, too.
Yeah, and, well, we have our show today, which is, well, Great Balls of Fire. I've been calling it WWE Bonfire because the name is extraordinarily silly.
Yep, he said it, guys. Yay!
Said it again. I believe that it's currently 3 times I've said the name, and I've been like going, oh God, every time.
I really like Mr. Dr. Senju's. He's on with Taker's Minion, and I think Prince Moxley Lopez on Shooting Debris right before us, Fridays at 10 Central. But he gave it, I think, my favorite name, which was WWE Big Large Meatballs on the Barbecue Grill.
Okay.
That is my favorite name for it yet.
Although technically I think that they do barbecued ribs on the 4th of July, not barbecued meatballs, but okay.
It don't matter to me. It was hilarious. I like it.
So to kick off the festivities, literally, we had the pre-show match between Neville and Akira Tozawa representing the Titus International?
Worldwide.
Okay, Titus Worldwide. When while Stokely Hathaway is in a trademark office proceeding to sue the man, we need to talk about this match. It was enjoyable, and like we said, it kicked off the proceedings because Neville proceeded to kick Tozawa in the gonads to get a DQ.
Yeah, that was, well, let's start with the positives of this match. One, the crowd was insanely into this. Like, the cruiserweights have always sort of suffered where the crowd isn't into it. No, the crowd was really into it. They were fired up. Tozawa got chants like every single time. It was so surreal to see. I mean, happy because Tozawa's my boy. And Rex Ivanovitz, if I'm pronouncing that right. But, he's my boy too. And, it was awesome. And then the finish happened, which, if they're stretching it out to have him win at SummerSlam, I'm not going to be mad, but I will be honest, it was disappointing to see. So
I'm happy that they decided to stretch out the finish to SummerSlam because it didn't make much sense to have Neville drop the belt here in this particular pay-per-view. I think it would make more sense for Neville to drop it at SummerSlam to Tozawa than have the rematch at the next Raw pay-per-view.
All right, that works, I guess. I'm sure that's what they'll do. I hope that's what they'll do. If they don't, then I'll be mad. But as of now, I'm just slightly disappointed and hopefully and thinking, they're probably going to give him the belt at SummerSlam and make him there. Just put them on the pre-show again because they tend to do good on the pre-show.
Well, yeah, because it's the opener match, and if people are really excited about, an opening match card, and the cruiserweights have been put down in the 4th or 5th spots on the card, which doesn't really suit the cruiserweight division. I know that people get a kind of a hang-up about card placement, and this is kind of something that bugs me a little bit because I go, okay, you want to use your people the correct way by putting them in places in the card that they will do well. I don't particularly care if a match starts first, because then that person actually gets over with the crowd because the crowd is hot for them. Neville and Tozawa are good crowd manipulators, so put them early in the show so they can benefit from a hot crowd.
Yep. It's going back to that sentiment of putting people in proper places on the card. We have the exact opposite. Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt to start off the show proper.
Oh, I love this match.
Who thought this was a good idea? This was a boring match.
It's Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins starting off the show.
Yeah. I mean, what were they trying to do? Were they trying to sabotage the show? I mean, seriously, out of all the matches to start off the show proper, you start with Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt.
What else would have gone with?
I would have started with the women, to be completely honest.
There wouldn't have been a ring left if that match happened.
Well, yeah, but then we wouldn't have had to suffer through Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt.
But then we wouldn't have gotten Joe versus Brock or Roman tearing through the arena in a goddamn ambulance.
That's true. It's just like I was only half watching this, and the half I saw it was boring. The finish was whatever.
Bray, who proclaims himself to be a god, making Alexa Bliss quite angry, got a eye poke on Rollins.
Yeah, which I honestly didn't see at first. It looked like he just punched him in the face from the outside. I didn't really see him get the eye poke. But I was told he poked him in the eye, so I guess that's what happened. Then he hit, Sister Abigail and won. It was a boring match. It was so boring, in fact, that I said screw the last segment on Raw where they did the match again. They could not pay me to watch that match again.
Wow, we are getting some nice fire here today, folks.
Yeah. Oh my lord! It's like two people. It's Seth, generic, create a character wrestler who has no psychology, and Bray Wyatt, who I find utterly tedious. Like, what did they want me to do? I said this match would be my personal hell, and it was. It was a boring slog.
I thought that this was an old school 1980s style match, which is right in Bray's wheelhouse as far as the wrestling is concerned. Rollins actually sold a little bit better than I thought he would in this particular match. And also I was kind of happy because, again, card placement. I'm finally happy that Rollins isn't in the 5 to 7 range as far as the card placement is concerned. He's finally in the early portion of the card where the mid-carders usually are.
Yeah. If I would have put him in the total second match. That's the match you put these people in. After a strong opener, you put this nothing match there.
Well, then we wouldn't have witnessed the glorious murder.
Yeah. Enzo versus Cass.
Yeah, but before we get to the murder, I think that, this match, I think, was serviceable in doing what it did. It wasn't very long. It was shocking. I mean, a Seth Rollins match going 12 minutes, 10 seconds is a surprise.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the only thing that keeps us out of the 9th circle of my hell. It's like in the 7th or 8th, but it isn't in the 9th.
So, yeah, after the Rollins-Wyatt match, where the proverbial god proceeded to eye poke Rollins, and again, this feud is going to potentially continue on to SummerSlam. If Rollins doesn't convince Old Dean to reform a tag team.
I would so rather have those two go after the Miz Taraj, but we'll get to that later.
Okay, well, let's see here. Next up is the aforementioned murder. You see, Big Cass finally decided to do something about the little problem known as roadkill hair. Enzo Amore. Enzo Amore, a man who has been a part of several extraordinarily bad wrestling segments, has been a part of the only wrestling segment that almost made me gag. The Lana Rusev hotel scene, by the way.
Joy.
So, Enzo Amore, a man who wears a poop emoji on the back of his tights.
Yep. One of many reasons I'm not exactly the biggest fan of Enzo.
He does every conceivable thing to make you annoyed at this guy. And Cass, bless his heart, had apparently the tolerance and patience of a saint to tag team with this guy for 2 years.
Yep.
2 years longer than I would have had.
Yeah. Probably about, I don't know, like 23 months longer than me. I'd probably team with him for a month and then get sick of him.
So, anyway, there was several mystery attacks happening to Enzo Amore. Now, some people might have thought that he was being attacked by Bigfoot or being abducted by aliens. Both face would have been preferable in this particular case.
Yeah, it would have.
Instead, an investigation was launched where suddenly Corey Graves becomes Poirot.
Yeah, and he announces to the world that he has videotape footage, which he shows live on Raw, that shows Big Cass doing the thing he did to himself, which was supposedly exactly the same, but if you look at the two clips, they're clearly different.
Mm-hmm.
Take that, Kevin Dunn. You're not even a damn good producer. Get out of my wrestling.
Mm-hmm. That's what Alex Greenfield and the Chainsaw is for.
Yeah. Alex, please do something about him, please. But yeah. So, then Enzo found out in the breakup. Cass kicked him in the face. Next week on Raw, Enzo actually cut a good promo that made me feel for him. It was a strange, surreal feeling. I wasn't I wasn't sure what to feel with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about how he wanted Cass back. Cass said he was going to. Then they pulled the old school NXT thing where they wait till the very last second and Cass beat him up again. Then the week after that, Enzo cut a really good babyface promo for half the time, and then the other half of it, I was like, see, it was weird. That one was like, I'm fluctuating between I like you and I want to punch you in the face.
A natural reaction to Enzo Amore.
Yeah, it was weird. It's like there is some likability to him. It makes me feel very strange when I see that, but there is a little bit there. He just can't get out of his way enough to make it always there.
Mm-hmm. The whole, wearing the gold chain, the kind of abrasive behavior stuff that he does, when he cuts his promos. Look, I know he's supposed to be some loudmouth guy from Long Island. I know that they're trying to pull a Jersey gimmick, but he's actually is from Jersey.
Yeah. And, well, then they had the match.
A 5-minute murder.
Yeah, pretty much. Cass just beat the ever-loving crap out of Enzo. And even then, Cass didn't look very good doing it. And this is the guy they're pushing, oh God.
I'm looking forward to it.
I think it was Tanya who said he was a bootleg Kevin Nash, which that describes him so well.
Well, here's the thing. He is a Bauer basketball player, but here's the thing that's different between him and Nash. Cass has functional knees.
Yeah.
And he's not in any sort of backstage capacity taking over shows, trying to book things, and Kevin Nash, smart guy, morals aren't really there.
Of course not. He's from Detroit. Seriously. You do what you do to survive, man. That's how it works in Detroit. But the thing with Cass, I think, here's the thing. I would at least want to watch some more Nash matches. They might be slow, plodding, and bad, but at least he knows how to structure them a little better. I don't really get that from Cass. He was just boring me to tears. I mean, they did what they had to do. We killed Enzo. I'm very concerned if he tries to do any other matches, beyond 5-minute squashes. Mm-hmm. He is not going to be good, but that's just me.
I'm a little bit more optimistic about Cass's future because I generally like the guy. And unfortunately, I know that Enzo and Cass were upset about this breakup happening, but they made the most of the situation. And in all honesty, this needed to happen. I know that people said, "Oh, Enzo and Cass are over. Enzo and Cass should be tag team champions." The thing is that this team never really they clicked with an audience, but they love the catchphrases. They love the swagger and the attitude. The thing was is that there are other teams ahead of them. You have the Hardys, you have Cesaro and Sheamus. You have suddenly you don't have a spot open for the number 2 babyface tag team position, which is now becoming an increasingly crowded field. I
Yeah.
know that they've done a lot of breakups lately, WWE has, but they have a tendency to rebuild tag teams on the fly. So we'll have more tag teams back in the coming months, especially if Seth somehow manages to convince Dean to reform the Shield. But, Dean being Dean might put a monkey wrench in that plan. But Cass and Enzo had a good 5-minute squash. I generally enjoyed it. And I think that this will be very interesting. His next Limus test for Cass. Congratulations! You get to be in an endless feud with the Big Show. Enjoy!
Poor Big Show. He deserves so much better than what he's been getting. That poor guy. He works so hard, gets himself in great shape, only to have Shaq cancel on him. You bastard Shaq. And now he has to deal with Enzo and Cass. My God, the man can't win.
At least it will lead to some decent giant versus giant matches between these two individuals.
Yeah, sure. I guess. After that, we had the tag.
This is so fun because the first 2 matches I enjoyed, and the 2 matches you thought was torture, and the other one was okay.
Yeah. First match, good lord, that is in my 7th or 8th circle of hell, and it will stay there forever. Yeah, second match, it was just boring, but whatever. It was fine for what it was. Yeah. I'm glad you liked them, though, because good lord, I honestly do want someone to enjoy this. Just because I'm suffering through this crap, I at least want there to be one person out there enjoying this, so I know it wasn't a complete and utter waste of time. And it wasn't. You enjoyed them, so there we go.
Well, yeah, and, my personal level of hell is next up here. The 30 minutes of the Hardy Boys. 30 minutes of those Hardy Boys in a tag team Iron Man match with Cesaro and Sheamus.
Yeah, this was weird in the sense that most of it was very boring. But the last 5-ish minutes was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was. When Matt got busted up and then it just went all out on the last 5 minutes and kind of not really a spot fest as such, but that's when they busted out all the cool moves. Last 5 minutes were great. First 25, not so much.
So let's see how we had here. Cesaro and Sheamus got the first pinfall after a bro kick in 20 seconds on Matt Hardy. Then Cesaro and Sheamus pinned Jeff Hardy after a white noise and diving neckbreaker combination. Then the Hardy Boys pinned Cesaro after a twist of fate. Matt Hardy was counted out after Cesaro threw him against the ring post. Then Jeff Hardy pinned Cesaro with a cradle. Then the Hardys pinned Matt pinned Sheamus after a twist of fate from the top rope. They allowed Matt Hardy on the top rope. Kind of surprised by that.
Yep.
And then Cesaro pinned Jeff Hardy with a cover after Jeff performed a swanton bomb on Sheamus.
Yep. Now, here's the weird thing about the end. End of the match, like you said, Sheamus and Cesaro were up 4-3. Then Jeff hit the swanton or the twist of fate, I want to say Sheamus, and they were going for the last second pin. He was a second off, so they still lost the match. But here's the weird thing and a very fatal flaw in the structure of this match. Earlier in the match, Cole said it was either Cole or Graves. They said it doesn't matter if they tie, the champs still retain. There is no overtime. So they had this frantic finish where Jeff tried to get the pin to tie it up 4-4, but it wouldn't have mattered either way.
Actually, it was free, so they...
Was it 3? No, it was 4-4 then, because it was the very last second. He had a 2 count when the timer went out.
Oh, okay. So, so Jeff tried to pin Cesaro when Cesaro and
Yeah.
Sheamus were up 4-3 in 29:32. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It wouldn't have mattered at all. And I don't get why they tried to do that frantic finish when you said earlier in the match it doesn't matter.
Because we're talking about Jeff Hardy doing a 30-minute long match. I don't think he remembered that stipulation.
Well, the thing is, commentary brought it up. I don't think they told Jeff that.
Mhm.
So my issue is, who the hell is telling commentary to say that if this is what you're doing in the match?
Mhm.
Like, someone needs to be talking to each other so we don't get these blatant logic holes.
Mhm. Okay, yeah, that definitely makes sense in that particular instance. I think because of the fact that if they went with a flat finish 30 minutes in 4-4, then it would have made the crowd quite unhappy after having to sit through 30 minutes of the Hardy Boys bumbling about.
Oh, no, of course, I get that. I'm just saying, maybe just have, like, the heels pin them last second to win 4-3.
Yeah, that's just what they did. But I think the problem is Cesaro pinned Hardy too soon.
That could be it, but, even then, it's just one of those things where it's like I'm more mad at whoever told them on commentary to say that than what the guys in the match did.
hmm Although, in all honesty, I think they expect you to tune out commentary at this point with the occasional logic holes that they throw through.
Yeah, speaking of commentary, I spent half of this match listening to the Japanese commentary.
Ah.
Yeah, because Cole and Booker and all of them, they were in rare form tonight that night. They were not on their A game. So I spent like half of the match listening to Funaki and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Sho Yamaguchi?
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So that was actually enjoyable. It was really fun. Funaki is Ichiban.
That's great. And let's see. So Cesaro and Sheamus had a 30-minute long Iron Man match. Can you please pick a stipulation that actually fits these teams well?
I think it works better for Sheamus and Cesaro since they have more stamina and can go. Although they do like 15-minute sprints, really like even better than this. But for them, it wasn't terrible. But yeah, for the Hardys, a 30-minute match. The guys are like in their 40s. Well, Sheamus and Jeff are actually the same age. Cesaro is like 35. He's by far the youngest out of all of them. Like Sheamus and Cesaro, they can still go to a degree. Jeff has had numerous injuries and drug problems. Matt has had numerous injuries and drug problems. And Jeff's 39 and Matt's like what, 41, 42?
40. I think he's 40.
Okay, yeah. So this is the match we're giving them? I mean, to their credit, in the last 5 minutes was great, but again, most of it was boring. Like I figured it would be because, like you said, these guys are old.
It's not just the fact that they're old. It's that, in this situation, you have these guys working in a style of match that doesn't really necessarily fit them. Because of the fact that they are, 40 years old.
Yeah.
Or close to it at this point. And, I would have preferred if they had picked a stipulation that was something that was more to their liking. And I don't know exactly what you go with, like an extreme match or something, but you have to turn the whole broken gimmick thing, which has become a completely crazy legal loophole of a mess.
I think they're doing it though, because on Raw they said the thing.
Yes, I think they're going to go for it. I think they're going to go for the kill with Ed Norheim being completely stubborn and refusing to sign off on the broken gimmick. And I think they're going to do it anyway. But first, let's have the Revival break their legs.
Yeah. I have no idea what they're doing with the tag division. If are they turning Sheamus and Cesaro face now? Or are they, because they really don't have any other face teams to face. Unless they bring up Slater and Rhino, but I don't know if they're doing that.
I think it's fine in this case. I think, Sheamus and Cesaro proving their point and then, gaining sympathy because the Revival are back, folks.
Hey!
Yep. And they're doing everything that they can to make you hate them.
Yep, they're back from losing pretty much 2-on-1 to Kalisto on main event.
But most people don't watch main event at this point, except the international markets. So,
yeah, but still, I'm still always going to be better over that. And I'm a guy who likes Kalisto.
Even though he should not be allowed around a microphone.
Yeah.
Lucha things.
Lucha things! Lucha! Yay!
Yes. Braun,
But,
please put him in a dumpster again and launch him off the stage.
hey, come on. Braun has bigger things to worry about, but we'll get to that later.
Yes. I hope his insurance is covers ambulances at this point. But first, we need to borrow that ambulance for a second because we have a shoot fight on our hands.
Oh, good lord, this was brutal. I mean, we knew it would be.
My goodness. Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss. We told you a few weeks ago, folks, that this was going to be a brutal shoot fight. It did not disappoint.
Nope. Alexa and Sasha tried to murder each other. I am half convinced of that. And, well, they didn't. By the grace of God, they didn't kill each other, but they came close, I'd say.
Yeah. So Alexa using the powers of her knees to drive them into Sasha's back. The sell on that particular mood as Sasha was folding into a pretzel was amazing.
Yep. The spot where Alexa did her double jointed elbow thing to beat the crap out of to get the ref to hold her back and then beat the crap out of Sasha. That was always a good one. When Alexa did her Yoshi Tonic, which at first I thought was a Canadian Destroyer, but apparently it wasn't. That was crazy, in the corner. I mean, some people didn't really like it. I thought it was pretty cool looking, but that's just me.
The idea of these two literally brutalizing each other is like, this was a war. This was the definition of a shoot fight. Sasha hitting Alexa with those knees off the stage.
Yep, that was the meteor off the announce table after the match.
The match was a count-out finish, which actually worked in this case because these two literally tried to destroy one another.
Yep, and because it's going to continue at SummerSlam. I know a lot of people before this match started were worried Sasha was going to lose and they were going to give up on WWE. I'm not saying I blame them. I'm just saying a lot of people were worried about that, which, I mean, if that's your favorite and, Sasha hasn't exactly been in the best place on the card this past year, I could totally see that. So after this finish, a lot of people were actually happy again, which, hey, look at that. WWE making people happy. What a novel concept.
Yeah, it's a novel concept. It's just, I think at this point that they realize, well, let's see here. How much can we drive this down at this point?
Yeah.
And the thing is with the women's division right now is I feel like they are really rebounding at this point. I know that people are complaining about both Raw and SmackDown's women's divisions. I get it. I totally understand why you would be doing that. But patience. Patience is important in this particular case. We just had the Mae Young Classic announced participants yesterday. I know that the women's division has been dealing with some struggles over the past year, but that's the kind of thing that happens in a profession where you have to perform in front of a live audience. Changes, unexpected accidents, injuries, and just plain weird things happen all the time. I think at this point, Sasha has recovered enough from her issues last year that she can do something to bolster up the women's division. And here's a hint, folks. It's not just going to have to be one person who's going to bolster up this division. It has to be a total team effort. I've been consistent about saying that for years now. It has to be a total team effort by everybody involved to make this thing work. Look at how people are focused at the Mae Young Classic. They want this thing to work. Besides the fact that, well, we'll get into this later, NXT, spoilers, folks, has got a couple of issues.
Yeah, I didn't watch NXT this past week. I was busy, so.
I also didn't watch NXT this week, but the structure of the match, I did see the debut of Bobby Fish though.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That him and Black didn't have a great match,
No,
surprisingly.
actually, that wasn't Fish. That was his partner.
Oh yeah, that was Kylo.
God dang it! If I'm Seth Rollins at this point, I'd be looking over my shoulder because Hunter seems to be trying to find every single clone of the man to sign.
Hey, I actually saw Kylo live at Evolve. He was way, way, way better than Seth. Seth is a poor man's knockoff of Kylo.
Uh-huh.
He is.
And I've seen Kyle O'Reilly in Ring of Honor. I wasn't terribly impressed by the man.
Well, I haven't seen him in Ring of Honor, so I can't account for that. But if his Evolve, but I'll say his Evolve stuff was awesome. So.
So yeah, we had the Alexa Sasha shoot fight, which was as expected.
Yep. So, oh yeah, before Sasha did her meteor off the announce table, they actually bloodied Alexa up. Seriously, they drew some blood. Sasha, in a humorous bit, decided to bash Alexa's face off the balls in the Great Balls of Fire logo. That had everyone laughing.
Well, she tried to, but she actually missed.
Yeah, slightly missed. It was like I think Eddie said it was like Great Balls of Fire teabagging or something like that, which God bless Eddie Mack. Love that guy.
But yeah, this went 11 minutes 40 seconds. It was it was as long a match as it needed to be because these two were literally going to rip each other to shreds.
Yep, and it was a great match. And after that great match, we dealt with a great man.
Well, here's the good thing about this match. It didn't go 27 minutes. Otherwise, Kane Knight was going to start burning more let's see, more Wicker Mans of the Miz if it went any longer.
Oh, come on. Let's start with the awesome news. Miz and Maurice weren't fighting on this pay-per-view. They actually kissed and everything is good. They have fully abandoned their stupid idea of having these two have marital issues. Yay!
Because they decided to go in a different direction with Mike and Maria.
Yeah, of course. Because no one should be breaking up Miz and Maurice. Which, fun fact I just noticed, the Miz's real name is Mike. Mike and Maria, and Mike and Maurice. Maria and Maurice are both different variations on the name Mary.
Yeah.
They're pretty much like it's like you have Mike, you have the Miz and Maurice, which are like the real A couple. Then you have Maria, who's like on level with them, but she's being dragged down by her clay lump of a husband.
I mean, hey, Goon One's got his purpose. Smashing a vase over Sami Zayn's head.
Yeah. That was probably the best segment this week. Like, and nothing on SmackDown was really terrible. It was just a bunch of nothing.
In all honesty, I honestly thought that the AJ Cena segment was good, and
that was a great segment.
You know, the thing is AJ Styles restarting the John Cena U.S. Open Challenge is a very interesting road to go down. Yeah. And with the mid-card belts right now, Miz is an Intercontinental Champion again. And by the way, he now has an entourage.
The Miz-tourage with Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. Two guys who were criminally overlooked and misused before the great man Miz came down from on high and saw their potential while filming on the Marine 5 and said, these two, I can use these two because these two are great. They are awesome like me, and with my help, they will reach new heights in WWE. And lo and behold, he was right, and they actually are now Mizzy winners.
Mizzy winners.
Yes, that Mizzy segment was amazing.
Ah, yes, the Mizzy Awards segment. Kind of sounds a little too similar to a certain name, but I will digress in this particular occasion.
Yeah, but for the match itself, it was fine. Miz beat Dean Ambrose. Ambrose had actually hit dirty deeds on Miz. Maurice put his foot on the rope because Maurice is awesome.
Yes, Dean crossed the muscle. You don't cross the muscle, Dean.
Nope. Then, Axel got the ref, and Dallas beat up Dean. Then Miz hit Dean with the skull-crushing finale to get the win. And all was right with the world. And then the next night on Raw, the Miz had his Mizzy Awards. And for Best Supporting Actor, it was a tie between Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. Those two men won the Mizzy. I was so happy for them.
I mean, here's the thing about Axel. I really like Curtis Axel. I know a lot of other people are not particularly high on the man, but I generally like this guy.
I think he's a solid worker, but he's not the best on the mic.
I know he isn't, but that's the kind of the thing with the third gen kids is that second third gen kids is that they're not exactly the best on the mic. Because I think part of it is living up to the family legacy, which, god dang it, I hate family legacies.
Vince loves them, though.
I know Vince loves them, but, you know, family legacies are one thing, but the other thing is that they need to be their own person. And I think Curtis is actually finding himself in this particular Mr. Raj gimmick. The guy has got a suit and a tie on.
He looks great in that, by the way. He doesn't have the jacket on, but he has like the shirt, the vest, the tie, the pants. He looks great.
He looks like a butler out of the 1920s.
You know, he looks very classy. He looks like someone who's going to get ready to kick your ass.
Whereas Bo Dallas looks like a beach bum from Florida in the 1970s.
He looks like a typical Hollywood rock star. He's great in that. I love that look for him. I mean, you got to have the one guy who's all like really classy, dressed and stuff. And then you have to have the guy who's all like, you know, Hollywood rock star. They complement each other. And then you have Miz, who's always amazing in a suit. Always. And Maurice, who is always gorgeous. Always.
You know, who's about ready to beat somebody up because they crossed the Miz.
Of course. See, Maurice is a very, very loving wife. And she is a very, very good person. So, you know, this whole gimmick is working wonders for me. It's looking like they might feud with the Mr. Rush might feud with Dean and Seth.
Welcome to Purgatory Part 2, Seth. You're now stuck in a mid-card feud with The Miz. Congratulations.
Hey, that is not purgatory. That is escaping purgatory and going to heaven.
Well, as long as Bo Dallas doesn't get taken in by the swagger of Bray Wyatt and his cult.
No. See, here's the thing. We all thought Bray was the better of those two. No, it was Bo. Bo is the better of those two. We all thought that for a while, but it's become painfully obvious. Bo Dallas is better than Bray Wyatt. Good Lord, how am I over Bray Wyatt?
It's kind of funny because I still like Bray Wyatt. I still like his crazy promos, his crazy 80s style promos, his great, wonderful community theater-esque acting, and you know, I understand why you don't like him, which is completely fine. You know, he doesn't really do anything for you. His wrestling is painfully average, unfortunately. So have been most of the rotundas.
Yeah, except for Windham, Barry Windham. You know, he was really good. The guy was in the Four Horsemen, but that's besides the point. And then, you know, and I guess my biggest thing with Bray Wyatt is, yes, his wrestling is painfully average. That's only one thing, though. Like, his acting, it's funny bad at times, but that's about as nice as I can be. And he never says anything of importance because he always loses. Like,
he didn't lose this time.
Yeah, I don't care, though. It doesn't matter anymore. Like, I just hate it when he goes on and on and on and on and on without saying anything.
Booga booga, the spirits are one with us. Let us go on our massive journey and follow the buzzards to our new destiny, our new kingdom, where I shall be worshipped as a god.
Yeah, like, he doesn't, like, what are you saying? What, like, seriously, Bray, what are you saying? Say something important. Say something I can understand. Stop talking in tongues.
If I knew Latin, I would start speaking in tongues right now.
Yeah, seriously, he might as well be talking in Latin for all the stuff I can understand from him. He says words. Words that sound somewhat spooky, but that's about it. It's annoying.
Well, the opposite of Bray in this particular case is actually our next match. I hope you had insurance on that ambulance, Dallas Police Department.
Yep. Like someone once said, the secret to making Bray work Get rid of all that supernatural bull crap and have him be an ass kicker. And then you have Braun Strowman. And that would make Bray work. Although, here's the thing. Braun, I love you. He and Roman beat the ever-loving crap out of each other.
They saw what Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks were doing and like, well, we can go to 11.
Yeah, no, they were all like, they saw what Alexa and Sasha did, and they're like, all right, hold my beer.
Hold my latte, my mochaccino diet latte.
Yeah, hold my drink. And, well, they did it. They beat each other up bad. They went through the screen. They went into the ambulance. They fought all over the building. It was awesome.
Complete with Hanna-Barbera cartoonish sound effects.
Yes, it was a great, great match. They threw each other at the ambulance so many times and surprised it wasn't bathed in their blood.
So yes, we had well, I do like one supernatural element returning into this feud. Braun's innate ability to heal from anything.
Yes, which we'll put that to the test.
Because Roman ran him over with an ambulance.
Well, not quite. He sort of did. See, Braun won the match after he sidestepped a spear from Roman, and Roman went into the back of the ambulance. He actually, to put it in sumo terms, he had good Roman.
Yep.
And Roman went into the back of the ambulance. Braun shut the door, and Braun won. Roman didn't take this very kindly. He beat Braun up more and more, threw him in the back of the ambulance, and then drove the ambulance backstage. He then put the ambulance in reverse and reversed full speed into the back of a trailer.
So I see those driving lessons from Rikishi have worked out perfectly.
Yeah, so we backed him all up, and then, Braun was presumably killed. Actually, no, Braun got out of the ambulance and walked out under his own power. They had Roman act like a complete madman trying to kill Braun. Braun getting out, he stumbled a lot, fell, but eventually got out under his own power. This ain't done yet.
Oh, it certainly ain't done yet, because Joe and Brock need another two challengers for whatever match they're planning at SummerSlam. Yep.
And so we have this, where Roman is a homicidal maniac, which, I'm not exactly against that, as long as, they don't make him a face. Like, I know the argument people have said, like, Roman's just supposed to take it from Braun. No, he isn't. But seriously, try telling people that in the legal system. This man tried to kill me, so I tried to kill him. I'm completely, not even like this man tried to kill me, and at that time I'm trying to defend myself, I tried to kill him. No, this man tried to kill me like 3 weeks ago, so I tried to kill him 3 weeks later. The legal system won't look at you as a good person. You'll probably get thrown in jail.
Well, Wrestler Cart probably will just say, hey, you have to give him a 12-pack of beer.
Yeah, they probably will. So, you have that. So yeah, that whole thing's gonna happen, but it should be fun. And Braun's probably coming back next week at Raw because Joe and Roman have a match to decide number one contender. Braun's probably gonna interfere, and they're gonna make it a fatal 4-way for the belt with Brock.
So for the Beef Jerky Championship of Champions will be Joe, Roman, Braun, and of course Brock.
Yep. And, after this Roman-Braun match, we had Heath versus Hawkins.
Yes. 2 minutes, 10 seconds.
Yeah, which we hardly saw. We only saw the very beginning. We didn't even see the finish because we were cutting to them getting Braun out of the damn ambulance.
Braun revived with the Ichor of Wyatt.
Yeah, apparently Heath won, but we didn't even see the finish, which, I'm not too upset. All things considered. I mean, it was the one match a face won on the pay-per-view, via pinfall or submission, because Sasha won by count out. But the one match a face won by pinfall or submission, and it happened off camera, and we never saw it.
Although one could consider Braun a face after Roman attempted to Rikishi him into the back of a trailer.
Yeah, or I guess some people do consider Brock the face in this feud, but No, Brock for Brock Joe.
Oh, Brock Lesnar's the face against Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess kinda, but he's more like neither really.
I mean, Joe has committed multiple violations of the
Oh,
Endangered Species Act by attempting to murder a walrus, so...
yeah. And that match is up next, and oh my lord, what a great match!
Yes, Joe is a guy who does not fear the beast. Brock is confused and wondering what Brock has to do to end the jolly fat man.
Yeah, this match started hot when Joe dumped Brock during the introductions and gave him an Uranagi onto the outside announce table.
Yep.
He attacked Joe so hard.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
This was like Godzilla versus Desadroya.
Yeah, it was.
Think of any Japanese movie monster you can think of, and it was this match.
Yeah, it was a total Clash of the Titans. It went what did it go, like 8 minutes?
Let's see. It went 6 minutes, 25 seconds.
Yep. You see, they learned from Brock Goldberg in that you want to have a great match with Brock Lesnar, have it go like 5 minutes and be a total slugfest sprint.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did here. And my God, was it great. This was my favorite match of the night. It was one of the best matches I had ever seen, really, honestly, in this past year. Like, this was as good as Brock Goldberg, which I gave 4.5 stars at the time. And that seemed to be the general consensus between me and everyone in the daily. Total 4.5 star match. You could honestly probably convince me to say this was a 5-star match, a perfect match. That's how good this match was. It was hard hitting. It was brutal.
It was brutal. It was hard hitting, like you said. Continue.
And, it was great. It was just like, I can't even go on about how good it was because, Brock gets back in and Joe puts the coquina clutch on him. Brock fights out, gives him 3 Germans. They go back and forth, slugging the crap out of each other. Joe continues to go for the clutch, but can't get it on fully. Brock breaks out, finally hits the F5 and wins. And I'm just like, this match was everything I wanted. 2 beasts going at it. 2 destroyers from on high coming at it to kill each other. And that's what they did. And it was beautiful. and I can't wait for the next match. I am so hoping that it has all of them in it. Roman, Braun, Brock, and Joe. That match will be great. This match was great. It was a great match. Like, go watch this match.
Normally sometimes people complain about Fatal 4-Ways happening on pay-per-views. I think that this particular Fatal 4-Way looks extremely good.
Yep. And since we're talking about the segments that happened on Raw after this. This segment on Raw after this had Brock coming down, and then Joe came down and said, "You didn't beat me. You barely escaped me." Brock laughing at him, saying, "Yeah, who cares? I still beat you." Roman laughing in the background of this. Those two are about to go at it. Roman and Joe go at it with Brock laughing in the background. And Angle making the match for next week. Joe versus Roman, with the winner facing Brock at SummerSlam. Our prediction is, of course, that Braun comes back that night, interferes in the match, and makes it a Fatal 4-Way, which will be great.
Yep.
If that is the case, please do this, WWE. We need this Fatal 4-Way. We need all of the beef in that ring. Like, can you imagine the sheer amount of weight and man that is in that ring, Fizzy?
That sounds like a lot to me, but
yeah.
The thing that the weak link in the match, analyzing this potential hypothetical Fatal 4-Way that may or may not happen, The strongest people on the match will obviously be Roman and Joe, because Joe is very good at dictating psychology, and Roman is incredibly good at selling.
Yep. And Roman's a very good wrestler overall. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think Braun will be good in it. I honestly think, if anything, it would be Brock that's the weakest link.
I think it's going to be Braun.
Really?
The trouble with Braun is he didn't really do all that well against Brock in the Royal Rumble a few years back. Now, admittedly, this was a few years ago. Braun has improved in certain parts of his game, but his ability to continuously trip over everything and his possibility of him no-selling Brock might lead to some problems.
Yeah, Brock is one of those guys where, like, if you have his respect, like Joe did and Roman did, he'll make you look like $1,000,000. I don't know if Braun has his respect yet.
Well, if there's a ginormous, cartoonishly sized hole in the ring after the end of the match, then we'll find out exactly where the respect is.
Yeah. But, I honestly think this match will be very good. And, that was all of Great Balls of Fire. A very good show. The back half was absolutely great. Front half was... It had some good stuff on the front half. You had Neville Tozawa, which, well, I'm personally disappointed by it. I can't complain. First 3 matches on the show proper were okay. The first match I hated. Fizzy liked. I think a lot of people found it boring. Second match I found boring. It was okay, but it was only 5 minutes and it was a squash. Third match went way too long, but whatever.
But that was because of the stipulation.
Yeah, and after that, the show really picked up. So if you're going to watch the show, at least watch everything from Sasha on. Especially watch the main.
Yeah.
And that's... You have anything to add to that?
Well, this show was a pretty interesting show overall. And, I feel like it's a good show. I do need to watch this show again, because I did watch it once. So I'm like, okay, on Thursday. And I was like, okay, this show is okay. But I think I need to rewatch it again, because I enjoyed the first match. I enjoyed Cass destroying Enzo Amore. I enjoyed most of the matches on this show, apart from the 30-minute slog of having to watch the Hardy Boys wrestle.
Yeah. I heard some people say this show was better than Mania, which... I think this was a very good show overall. There was a lot of stuff I liked about it. But... I don't think it was better than Mania. I think Mania was a little better. But it was still good. The back half of the show was definitely as good as Mania. Front half was really what let it down. But that's just me. And we only have a couple segments left of Raw to talk about, which we should talk about now. The Kurt Angle stuff.
Oh boy, yeah, the Kurt again. Apparently, they seem to be reviving an old angle from the 2000s, where Kurt Angle and Stephanie McMahon were in a kayfabe relationship.
Yeah, I have seen a tweet of someone who broke the news about the Punjabi prison weeks before that seems to speculate and say that Chad Gable is actually going to end up being Kurt Angle's illegitimate son.
Oh, goody.
Instead of the Stephanie McMahon stuff, yeah. So, if that is what they're going for, remember the last time you guys did this? It was Vince McMahon's bastard son Angle.
And that turned out to be Hornswoggle, which, okay.
It was actually supposed to be Mr. Kennedy, but then Kennedy got busted for drugs. That whole angle was stupid. I mean, I have no idea what they're doing.
Because professional wrestling is a soap opera. We forget about the soap opera parts about it sometimes, but that's what lures viewers in.
Who wants this? I don't think...
People who are craving for soap opera-like elements because of the fact that the soap industry had a bit of a crash in the late 2010s.
I was hoping it would continue to crash. We don't need soap operas. They're stupid. Wrestling is best when it gets away from its soap opera stupidness.
And now the entirety of the Lifetime Network is about to form an angry mob and chase Sal out of the building.
Oh, come at me. Seriously, why do you watch soaps? To make yourself feel better about your own life because you're not that dysfunctional? Well, good. That's not exactly a high bar to clear. Seriously, for the love of God. Get over these stupid stories. The acting is bad. The music is cheesy. The cinematography sucks. I am pissing off all of the soap fans right now. And I have just 2 words. I have 3 words for them. Come at me.
Oh, good Lord. Granny Steeljaw is going to be pile driving Sal for an oakwood table.
Yeah. And I don't care. Seriously, I've never understood why anyone likes those stupid things. Yeah, but,
Okay, so the Kurt Angle looks to be a total disaster.
Yeah.
Like most segments involving Kurt Angle.
Oh, come on. Kurt Angle's pretty good. It's just whenever they try to make things out of his personal life and stuff like that that whole total soap opera thing with him and Jeff Jarrett and the current Mrs. Jarrett, former Mrs. Angle, back in TNA, which, by the way, are we going to mention this?
Oh, you mean the Donner Party of Professional Wrestling Donner partying it up again?
Yeah, let's mention it.
Okay. So first, before we say anything about the situation, let's go over the facts first. Allegedly, there was a domestic dispute violence incident at an airport in Florida.
Yeah,
this was the main hub airport in Orlando, I believe. This was between Paige and Alberto Del Rio, going under his Alberto El Patron name. Now, both of these individuals have had some issues over the last couple of years. Various different things, like Paige suffering from spinal stenosis to ADR's apparent issues with, allegedly, cocaine.
Yeah.
So apparently Paige threw a thing of water at ADR after Alberto insulted one of her members of her family.
Yeah. And apparently Alberto Del Rio has hit Paige and beaten her. And I mean, there have been some pictures that have seemed to show Paige with bruising.
Allegedly. But again, this is all secondhand and third-hand information. The thing that we need to stress explicitly about this case that I don't think anybody has mentioned thus far is that this is an ongoing investigation by the police department. I understand if you want to help out the police department, if you have any incriminating photos, please contact the police department that is investigating this case. Do not go public with these photos. Do not talk about these information until the legal situation has changed to the point where it can become public.
Yeah.
It is... Continue.
Yeah, like this whole thing, based on everything we know about ADR, it seems like this would be something like he would do. Allegedly. I'm covering all my legal bases because I don't feel like getting sued. Everything we've heard about ADR, this allegedly points to something he would do.
Yes.
If he did do this, shame on you, Alberto Del Rio. Shame on you for attacking your wife.
Or a potential wife at this point, because they're still dating.
Oh, they are? I thought they got married.
No.
Oh. Well, they're engaged at the very least. So, I mean, this is insane. I never understood this. And I mean, this is just terrible. I mean, domestic abuse is always going to be an issue. It always will be. And I always hate to see it. And I mean, I feel bad for Paige. I feel very bad that I'm not blaming her for any of this. I just feel bad that she's still defending him.
Sure, but at this point, it's a psychological issue.
I know. And it just sucks, I hope she gets the help she needs. I hope she really does get away from it because I'm scared for her. Her family is scared for her. Her brother, God bless him, he seems very upset for her.
Sure, but at the same time, I do have to condemn the Knight family for doing this, making the situation as public as it is. There is an ongoing legal investigation with the police department about this incident. Any interference in that police investigation, and you're going to get a very, very angry police department wanting to countersue you or do something about your legal ramifications.
Yeah.
We need to let the due process play out in a case like this. Due process is incredibly important in domestic violence situations. Every I and every T needs to be crossed perfectly in order to make this work. If there are going to be charges filed on ADR, you have to make sure that the evidence has not been interfered with, that anything has been interfered with. What the Knight family needs to do is seek legal counsel. They need to talk with their lawyer, and their lawyer will tell them exactly the same thing. Stay quiet about the situation for now because it's an ongoing situation. If you feel the need to sue the Patron family, the Del Rio family, it is necessary. It will possibly be necessary in this case. ADR is currently going through a ton of legal issues right now. He has a current divorce going on with his wife, not Paige, because they are currently still dating. They have allegedly tried to spread false stories about the whole Paige is married to ADR thing, which I don't think is true at this point. And we very clearly have a person who is suffering from severe psychological issues who probably, everybody in this case should get some therapy. At least some kind of therapy.
Yeah.
But again, this is an ongoing legal investigation.
Yeah.
Before anything else, we need to see all of the facts first and see what is going on with this before we make any pressing judgments going forward. We know of the behavioral issues of ADR. We know of the psychological issues that have caused Paige and her family issues for decades. All of that is public information. This case, however, is not. It's still an ongoing legal investigation, and I think at this point, it would be best to be very cautious about this situation and to wait until an official announcement by the Orlando Police Department about this particular instance.
Yeah. I feel like the reason Paige's family went public is because like they're trying to get Paige away from him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
like they have no else idea of how to do it. Like that's why.
File a restraining order? You can
Yeah.
file 50,000 different kinds of... Look, I get it that Paige's family is the carniest family of carniest families, but if they've been... And look, multiple people in the Knight family have had legal issues with law enforcement. You don't think they would know of how to file legal paperwork at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, Saber Kid has been in prison. Her brother has had repeated issues with law enforcement, and Ricky Knight, of course, has had run-ins with the law, of course. So, yeah, you can file legal paperwork. It's kind of easy to do. I know that they're in Britain. That's, I think, the thing that's causing issues right now is that they're in Britain. Paige is currently in Florida, and okay, the law enforcement in this particular situation is being held in the United States, but I think you can file at least a court order.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works. That's all I've heard. So I don't know. But you know, yeah, this whole thing's just very upsetting, very distressing, and very, very bad. Hopefully, like you know, hopefully if ADR is actually being Paige, and I hope Paige does get away from him. I hope ADR goes to jail for a very long time, and I hope he is fired, which he's been suspended indefinitely. And most people, according to a rumor I read today, most people in Impact on like the like management side, like the company itself, they want him fired. Most people on the wrestling side, they want him to stay. Which, here's the thing. If you're a wrestler in that company, you want a person who allegedly beat his wife, a person with numerous behavioral issues.
A person who should be in therapy at this point because... Again, this is a Olympic wrestler from one of the most combustible Mexican Lucha Libre families down in Mexico, the Caras family.
Yeah. Like, you want this guy on your roster? Really? This is the guy. This is your world champion. This is the face of your promotion. This is the guy you want. A guy who tried to say stuff about WWE, but management wouldn't let him because they kept playing his music louder and louder because they don't want to deal with any lawsuits and stuff like that.
I mean, here's the thing. Anaheim ain't Pena Energy. They are a company that is very keen on wanting to change their wrestling, the landscape of this company. And
Yeah.
admittedly, they are also using Jeff Jarrett as a puppet to get what they want. And here's the thing: if anybody in this particular company expects Jarrett to be there for the next couple of years, I think that you're probably counting your chickens before they hatch, because old Jiffy Lube is probably going to be kicked to the curb here pretty soon. They got his name, they got the GFW name, when they find someone better than Jarrett, they will kick Jarrett to the curb.
Probably.
When they find someone better than ADR, they will certainly kick him to the curb, and I think they already have those persons.
Yeah. I think they need to kick him to the curb now. Like, seriously, this is not a guy you want on your roster. This is not a guy you want to be the face of your promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And all the people who want him to stay, shame on you. Like, just being alleged about this, like, seriously, even having this alleged against you and all of his other behavioral issues.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, this is a guy who is incredibly unprofessional, who slammed a company because they booked him in Coach. Oh my God, they booked me in Coach. How could they? A guy who no-showed a charity wrestling show.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who didn't drop the AAA mega title when he went back to WWE. This is the guy you want? This? No. What does he have? A recognizable name. Okay. Has he ever been a draw outside of Mexico? Not to my knowledge. No.
Mm-hmm.
Cut him out. Leave him. You don't need him. Fire him.
Mm-hmm. Once again, of course, Anaheim has to wait until this and once again, they're in the same boat that we are in. They have to wait for due process to finish out until they can do something, because the thing is that Alberto is very trigger happy with the lawsuits.
Yeah.
And if they need reasonable cause to fire this guy, and they need to make sure that reasonable cause can keep them in the right side of a lawsuit when ADR decides to go sue Happy.
Yeah, I have heard, I think it was Rex who asked that question, like, could they? And I think, no, from what I heard from Blue and Orange, most people have in their contracts, like if they commit an act that is unbecoming towards the company or whatever, they can fire them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or something, which, even this whole alleged thing, like, if they feel like you've done something or whatever, I think they could fire them and get away with it. I'm not 100%.
But again, they need to wait for the due process to finish out on this particular case.
Well, yeah, I have heard, like, a lot of contracts still have, like, even if you're alleged of this, you can get fired or something. So, I mean, I don't know what's in his contract. I've just heard that's, like, a standard thing a lot of people in contracts have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, though. Like, again, like I've said, I am not a contracts lawyer. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing is just very bad. It's just, ugh.
So at this point, Anaheim the management team is looking at this like, okay, we need to get rid of this guy. Now, on the wrestler side, we can take a look at the wrestling roster and see why they're just agreeing with this, because, again, all of these other wrestlers have deals in place with ADR. See, the guy I think who's probably being the most vocal about this is Conan. Yeah. Oh, Lord, Conan, once again. I thought you were the sane one in Lucha Underground when you left earlier, but again, you're supporting your boy? That's not exactly the right thing to do at this point. I know that you're running the Crash right now and you're trying to stick it to AAA, but yeah, I don't think selling your soul to the devil is the best option at this point.
Yeah. Either Conan or Jeff Jarrett.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I think Jarrett is just trying to survive right now. Yeah. He knows that he's on his literal last chance, and I think that Anaheim isn't going to be like Panda Energy. They are not going to hesitate pulling the gosh dang trigger when things go south.
Yeah. Knowing Jeff, he'll somehow manage to survive, or he'll just make a new company. I swear to God, this man is one of the most carny men in pro wrestling.
He's from Tennessee. It's expected of them.
Yeah. He's like top 3 or top 5 at least with Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jarrett. Like those 4, they're in like a league of their own with how carny they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I like like Triple H and Shawn, but good Lord, those 2 are carnies. Can't say I really like Jeff Jarrett because I really don't. I mean, I don't hate him, at least not as much as I hate Hulk Hogan. But that again, that's a low bar to clear. So
I'm not the biggest fan of Shawn Michaels. Never really seen the point of of this guy as a wrestler. Triple H, I have, there's some things he does that are good, but then old Shovel has to do something that makes me aggravated with him again.
Yeah. Yeah, Triple H is very much the mixed bag out of all of them.
Yeah.
Shawn really changed, after he found God. At least he seemed to have
And
changed.
finally got himself into recovery because of all the drug issues he had. Seriously, management, did you not see that he was high on painkillers 95% of the time?
Well, they saw, they just didn't care.
Of course, because Jim Cornette was running talent relations at the time. He's not going to care.
Yeah, of course. There's another corny guy right there, Jim Cornette.
Mm-hmm.
But, so yeah, that's the whole TNA stuff. Hopefully the legal stuff gets taken care of. Hopefully, if it is found, like Taker's minion said, if he is found to have done that, he needs to go away for a while. And, he needs to go to jail, be fired. And I hope no one ever hires him again.
Oh, they will.
I know someone will, because pro wrestling is carny.
Yes, it's a carny industry, and everybody is desperate right now to try and do this or, yeah, he does need to, get imprisonment. But the thing is that then this will have to go to trial, and the conviction radiuses for domestic violence has improved. It used to be a lot less. Now it's a lot more years in prison.
Yep.
But this is a situation, like we said, the due process needs to process. The investigation is still ongoing. If you got any proof about this, go to the police. Don't yell about it on Twitter, because then that evidence is insufficient or cannot be used in a court of law.
Yeah. And, well, now getting off of this very depressing and very real and sadly all too common topic, let's talk about SmackDown 10, the show.
Okay.
Well, we started with the AJ Styles show. Well, actually, first we need to set this up. What was it, Saturday or Sunday? Saturday, I think it was, that AJ Styles won the belt from
Kevin Owens at a house show in Madison Square Garden.
Yep. The proverbial home of WWE. Madison Square Garden. And AJ Styles won it in a very surprising house show. I didn't see the match. I wasn't there. I think Vindicator Prime was there. So I'll have to ask him how that match was, because from the clips I saw that he posted, it seemed pretty good. And AJ won the belt, and he's came out to start the show on SmackDown, and he's bringing back the AJ Styles. He's bringing back the AJ Styles U.S. Open Challenge.
Formerly known as the John Cena Open Challenge, but changed for marketing reasons.
Yep. And his first challenger, or who was supposed to be his first challenger, came down to the ring. Your time is up. My time is now.
John Cena's here again.
Yep. And oh, Lord. Is that awesome? Like, seriously, like, seeing those two back at it today was so good.
Yeah.
Like, it was pretty much like, once again, the Clash of the Titans. They haven't been in the same ring since, what, the Elimination Chamber?
Yep.
And my God, was it good. John asked him, wait, when you say anybody, did you mean anybody but me? And AJ said, no, John, I meant especially you. Oh, man. Yeah. And then Kevin Owens came out like the asshole he is and ruined what was going to be a great match.
Yep.
And then Rusev came out like the asshole he is and decided to beat up John and AJ.
Yep. So, yeah, we have Rusev back on SmackDown. We have Kevin Owens facing against John Cena and AJ Styles. And Owens is not very happy about losing the U.S. title.
Yeah.
He is not happy at all. His Twitter profile's gone completely black.
Yeah. Rip. So, and because of that, we didn't get the U.S. Open Challenge. We did, however, get a Teddy Long special.
Yep, tag team match.
Playa.
Mhm.
God, this is a bit of a tangent, but I started watching when Teddy was the GM of SmackDown, and then he went to be the GM of ECW for a little bit, but then came back to SmackDown like a year later.
Yep.
So I always have a fond spot in my heart for Teddy. Love that guy.
Mhm.
So,
He-
whenever I see the Teddy Long special coming, I'm always a little happy. Still disappointed we didn't get that AJ John Cena US Open Challenge match, but, hopefully we'll get that in the future. And,
Mhm.
AJ and John won. John actually raised AJ's hand.
Mhm.
Hopefully we'll get this match at some point. We're going to have AJ and Kevin at Battleground, so hopefully after that we get the AJ Styles US Open Challenge
Mhm.
as proper. But, it was fine.
So we're going to have also a multi-women match at Battleground.
Yep. Lana is somehow getting yet another championship match.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Except,
no idea how.
except she's now in a case where she's facing against 4 other women for the chance to face against Naomi.
Yep. So,
So yeah, Naomi is basically putting down a Mortal Kombat style gauntlet on her competitors at this point.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure Lana's going to lose again. I hope she loses again. If she gets 4 straight title matches in a row, I'll have no idea what's going on. Like, are they trying to make Lana an absolute joke like I think they're trying to make her? Or are they actually trying to give her title matches? I'm confused.
So we have her, Natalia, Tamina, Becky, and Charlotte in a match at Battleground.
Yep. Who wins?
Oh, wow. That's actually kind of an open question at this point because, the person, in my view, we have Carmella and Naomi at this point. Carmella's got the briefcase, and she's doing a phenomenal job with that briefcase.
Yep.
And Jimmy Dream is gone for 30 days, folks.
Yeah. And Carmella brought a letter from her lawyer to Shane to try and get him back. Shane just ripped it up and gave it back to her, told her to give it back to her lawyer. Carmella flipped out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not a good idea to make this Princess of Staten Island angry, Shane.
She'll get over it.
Sure, but she'll probably, be plotting vengeance at this point. And speaking of people who are plotting vengeance, Sammy, why did you have to do this again? Why is it that you always seem to cross the absolute worst monsters that you could possibly be facing against? Monsters like Braun Strowman, monsters like Kevin Owens, and now he faces against an even more dangerous monster in Maria Kanellis.
Yep, and her useless lump of clay that is a husband, Mike Bennett. Or
Mike
now
Kanellis.
Mike Kanellis. Yes, Mike Kanellis. Which I know some people were upset about him taking her name. I honestly thought it made sense. Mike, as Mike Bennett, was an utterly useless piece of clay. And Maria was actually the entertaining one. Of course he would take her name. It makes him look that tiny bit better. Seriously.
And a goon has their purposes, and this goon had proceeded to bash Sammy over the head with a vase.
Yeah, I love the way he did that too. Like, it didn't look fluid at all. It looked like he was always trying to make sure he had it in his hand while he was bashing Sammy. It kind of looks somewhat stilted. You can't even bash Sammy with a vase right.
Well, he doesn't want to give him a legitimate concussion, to be fair. I know that it is a worked face, but at the same time, you don't want to hit Sammy over the head and cause this guy to miss 6 months like he did while he was fist pumping his shoulder and somehow blew it out.
Yeah. And then after that, Maria said an awesome line. See, Sammy, we're all about love, and sometimes love hurts. So God bless Maria.
Queen of the Kingdom.
Yeah. God bless Maria. That was good. We had Jinder versus Ty Dillinger. And let it be said that for one day, I cheered Jinder.
Yes, for those of you who are wondering what those earthquakes in Minnesota were all about, that was because KM Tierney became a Jinder Mahal fan and the world decided to change.
Oh, he was already a Jinder Mahal fan. He just became an even bigger one.
Yes, because Ty Dillinger, the menace of Ty Dillinger, was defeated by Jinder Mahal.
Yep. I was happy when that happened. The Singh brothers also had awesome shirts on. They had like bright red shirts. Like, if nothing else about this whole gimmick works for me, it's the Singh brothers. Their shirts, their shirts are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually escaped the hell that was 205 Live.
Yeah, 205 Live isn't a hell anymore. They catapulted Austin Aries to the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, why? I've heard Rover, the Irishman, saying that he got fired for like some actual pretty big reason.
People are going to make rumors and reasons over whatever molehills in this particular case and instance. As always, this is circumstantial rumor. There are allegedly, and this was said by Meltzer, was allegedly issues between Creative and Aries.
Yeah.
And I think that I am leaning towards that. There may have been an incident with Austin Aries because there always seems to be an incident with Austin Aries. It's not like that's hard to predict that there's going to be an incident with Austin Aries.
Yeah, from what I've heard, he was apparently a prick backstage, which I mean,
it's Austin Aries. That's to be expected. This 39-year-old guy honestly expected that he was going to be gifted a spot like CM Punk, that I would be on the main roster, that I would continue to drag down segments, that I would continue to make Neville almost legitimately want to kill him during a match.
Yeah, the thing with Austin is he can be very good in ring.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give the devil his due. Like, he can be very good in ring. But
Mm-hmm.
for as good as in ring as he can be, he's even more of a prick.
Of course, but that's, again, to be expected. I mean, you don't have to be a predicting psychic wizard to know that this guy is going to be an issue. You want to know the segments I've enjoyed the most when it comes to Austin Aries? I haven't really enjoyed... His matches have been serviceable when he cares. But the segments that made me enjoy Austin Aries was, of course, him getting beaten up by Baron Corbin and him getting destroyed by Neville.
I liked him on commentary for 205 Live. He was actually pretty good at that.
Sure, but then, of course, he also made about 1 million puns about bananas.
Yeah, that was the one downside, but still, he was good at it. So, I mean, like, they should have just had him on commentary for 205 Live, but then again, what you gonna do?
But then again, Austin Aries was chafing at the role and kind of wanted to be he craves the spotlight. Again, it's one of those issues where people really, really crave the spotlight when they really should step back a little bit and go, I think I might be overshadowing quite a lot of people on this show, especially those who really want to get over, And the concept of getting over has become so much more complicated now these days because of, fluctuations with the audience, people going into different areas, and, you don't know who's going to be over when, and it's become a literal game of prediction.
Yeah. So, yeah, it has. It's always hard to get over. Speaking of two people who have got over, the sexy fashion rangers.
Okay, yeah, the Wild West thing with the fashion police.
Yep. They use stock footage of Chuck Norris from Survivor Series, 1994 in this?
Mm-hmm. I think they were trying to go with a parody of Walker, Texas Ranger.
They were. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful. They interacted with Things' favorites, Mojo and Zach, who, yes, it does appear they are breaking up.
Oh boy, the reaction when the breakup happens is going to be literally nuclear.
Yeah.
Internet, folks.
Yeah, especially if they make Mojo the heel. After all of the good babyface potential he showed.
I think that they're going to do the flip with Zach becoming the heel and Mojo becoming the face.
Yeah, they haven't really made it look like that, though. Like, although knowing WWE, that is how they do it. Make Mojo's look like a bit of an asshole who, he wants Zach to get more serious, which that's understandable. But, they're making Mojo look like the bit of an asshole and then have Zach be the asshole.
Sure, but the thing is that Mojo is becoming the reasonable one in this tag team, and Zach is becoming from the veteran to sort of the goofy person in this duo.
Yeah. But, the fashion police, they were great. And they wrote, and Dango's horse was named Tully. After Tully Blanchard. God bless them. And then Tully went missing, and they said, ghost aliens. Okay. And now they're not the Fashion X-Files.
Okay, so Faction X-Files. So we're going X-Files. Probably because they couldn't get the rights to Ghostbusters.
Yep. Well, it's ghost aliens, like the X-Files, the Fashion X-Files.
Mhm.
It was beautiful, man. And,
Hey, if Jason Jordan and Chad Gabe get stuck in one of those ghost traps, then okay, that'll
yeah.
work.
I am wondering if it is them, though, because according to the rumor, it's going to be Gable, who's Angle's illegitimate son.
Then what is Jordan gonna do? Destroy everything?
I don't know. Like, I think it was Swift who speculated that it might be Gable's on the up and up, but Jordan's doing this behind his back.
Okay, that's. We'll
I,
have to
that's,
see. Like, we'll have to see how this plays out. Because here's the weird thing with me: rumors really do not matter in the context of what I watch in the world of professional wrestling. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, all right, then that's fine. We'll move on to something else because wrestling is such a fluctuation of things that are planned, not planned, sudden plans, instant mash, that it becomes extraordinarily hard to predict where the sea of flow is going to go.
yep. So, was there anything else on SmackDown? I'm trying to remember.
Let's see here. Just gender destroying tie. The world, Minnesota becoming a completely different landscape. Let's see. Aries getting catapulted into the Bermuda Triangle. Wow, there's not really much here.
No, I don't think there is. But, SmackDown was a bunch of really nothing.
Well, I mean, also the women's segment happened, which was enjoyable. I'm actually looking forward to this multi-person match because first, ladders are not going to be involved, and second, Lana's probably going to get murdered by either Tamina crushing her, Charlotte kicking her in the face, or Becky attempting to rip her arm off.
No, I don't think Tamina's going to kill her. Tamina's like her bodyguard now. It's so weird. I think Vidance put it best. You have two people who should be managers, like managing wrestling or managing each other. It's weird.
Well, Tamina, that's her thing. She kind of, I think, runs a bodyguard business on the side. So she, is a person that defends people.
Yeah. But, that'll be what it'll be. I still don't know who wins that match. I'm thinking Charlotte, but even then, that doesn't really make much sense. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But, that'll be what it'll be. Tag division. How could I forget the tag division? The Usos and the New Day.
Oh, yes, because after the New Day got completely schooled by the Usos in a rap battle.
Yeah. Although they still won because apparently the Usos touched Wale or whoever. I don't care.
Wale is actually going to be doing his own. Is going to be doing a show in October, I think.
Oh, nice. But Usos totally won that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real. The Usos won that. I mean, Xavier Woods made it so it wasn't a completely one-sided ass kicking.
But now this week they had the matches.
Yep, and Xavier won.
Making up for his costly errors in the rap battle.
Actually, no, it was more like him proving he still has the Usos number. He was covering for his teammates. His teammates did crap in the rap battle. Sorry, Big E. Sorry, Kofi. You two are great, but yeah.
Time to call an SOS.
Yeah. I mean, good Lord, the Usos in that rap battle, it was brutal. It was uncomfortable.
Yep. But yeah, the Usos have just proven how great they are in this particular run. Everybody just thought, oh, they're the happy dancing face tag team.
Nope.
They're
coked out, paranoia-ridden people. They're great.
They're the kind of people that you do not want to meet in the darkest side of an alley, which is becoming quite crowded these days as there are so many different wrestlers who fit that description.
Yep. So, they're great. I love them. I also love their catchphrase. It's not paranoia, it's the Usos. I was so happy when they said that in the rap battle a couple times. Because they always need to say that. Like, always. It is great.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to be paranoia if if Full Sail gets completely demolished by the Mae Young Classic.
Yep.
Because there's some heavy hitters in this tournament that I want to cover briefly. First, we have the what they're calling the trifecta. Mercedes Martinez, who's a person who has been around wrestling for an extraordinarily long time, about 17 years, is a mainstay of the promotion that actually exists, Shimmer.
Nope, it doesn't exist. Just because JR acknowledges it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Then we have Shayna Baszler, who's a former MMA fighter who's made a transition over to pro wrestling. She's scary. She's the ace of spades.
Okay. Wasn't she friends with, like, isn't she friends with Rhonda?
Yep, that's
Okay.
part of the angle that they're trying to do here. They're trying to get to Rhonda Steph.
Okay.
And then finally, we have somebody who's currently suplexing and lifting a gym. No, not gym equipment, an actual gym. Nicole Savoy.
Okay. I've heard of her. I don't know much about her.
She's the queen of suplexes. She's also extremely scary.
Okay. Yeah. And, you know, I want to touch on a couple people. We have Princessa Suhei, who I've always enjoyed in CMLL. I think she'll be a joy to watch. And for these next two, I haven't seen anything about them at all. My first experience with them was last night when they were introducing them, but they already made an impact with me. First was Toni Storm in her tiny top hat. I'm a sucker for tiny top hats. Like, I've heard she's very good. I honestly know nothing about her, though. So, you know.
She's the Progress Women's Champion.
Okay, so she is good. And the other person that made a very big impact on me was Kairi Sane, or Sane, is how it would be pronounced, who has a pirate hat. Yes. And it's apparently Chris's favorite.
She is known as Kari Hojo down in Stardom. She has one of the best elbow drops, and the reason that she is here is that she was actually a part of a pairing. Unfortunately, Minoru Shiranai is on the shelf at this point, and Nixon Newell is another person who's on the shelf for this tournament because, well, the shiniest wizard now has a knee brace on her knee because she suffered a knee injury.
Yeah, I heard about that. That sucks. But yes, I did see her elbow drop. Chris posted a GIF of that for me. It is a beautiful elbow drop. Gorgeous elbow drop. And I love her pirate look. I saw like her entrance last night. I think someone posted a link to it in the daily. I love her entrance theme. I love her pirate hat. I love that she walks to the ring with a ship's wheel. This is really all I know about her, but my God, like, if she can, like, my expectations are pretty good for her. Like, she seems like someone I would like. She seems very cheerful, very, like, I've seen pictures of her. She seems like a very nice woman. So, you know, I'm expecting good things from her.
So, to continue on in this brief rundown of the women's thing, we have Dakota Kai, who's formerly known as Evely.
Okay.
She is a video game person, video game aficionado, does live streaming, and also is a person with the most dangerous kicks in professional wrestling.
Someone who likes video games and can kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, she sounds like someone I would like.
Then we have a Serena Deeb, who's back.
Okay. Wasn't she in the Straight Edge Society?
Yes, she was in the Straight Edge Society. She's a solid professional wrestler, and this is basically the Brian Kendrick of the tournament.
Okay. I remember, like, I heard that she got rid of, like, the implants that she got, and I heard people were really upset about that, which, I mean, get over it.
I don't care. I don't care about implants.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I heard people were, like, booing her because she got rid of those. She got rid of her implants that she apparently never wanted. Which, I mean, one, get over it, you assholes. This is her body. It's her look. She can do with it what she wants. If, like, seriously, like, is all you think about, or, like, when watching women's wrestling, if all you think about when watching women's wrestling is boobs, get over yourselves.
Let the actual birds watch in your seat instead.
Yeah,
because there's a species of birds called boobs.
Yeah, seriously.
Because they would be better fans than the people who are cheering because we want to see jiggly bits.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously, assholes.
Do not be corrupted by the jiggly. The jiggly is corrupting your mind. The few brain cells that you have left that have not been consumed by alcohol are being consumed by the jiggly.
Seriously, guys. Like, calm down. She's a good wrestler. Just watch her wrestle and have good matches.
Yep.
It would be like getting mad that, you know, I don't know, like if The Rock decided to wrestle in a shirt instead of, like, you know, like bare chested or whatever. It's stupid. Just let them wrestle how they want to wrestle.
Yeah. I mean, and for those who do want implants, like Nikki Bella, she wanted implants.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it either. Yeah. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm saying there's something wrong with being mad that they don't look how you want them to look. Let them look how they want to look, asshole. Seriously. How about we all start dictating how you people should look?
Oh my goodness. Now so we have the Golden Girls of the Lifetime Network, and now we have the perverts forming angry mobs against Sal, and
Yep.
Sal will say, "Deal with it."
Yep, deal with it. And Marcel in the live thread put it best. He said, "Folks, it's called porn. It's free. Look it up." So right, Marcel. It is porn. It is free. Look it up. We don't need it in our wrestling. We really don't.
You don't need it in professional wrestling. If you're doing that, go ahead, do that with whatever you're doing. That leaves more seats for the birds and for people who actually really, really care about women's wrestling, who really, really want to see this succeed. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, just stop.
And also, let's see here. To continue on, we have Pippin Niven, who's formerly known as Viper, not to be confused with Randy Orton.
Yeah. I hope she has more personality than Orton.
Oh, she certainly does. She's a big, scary lady from Scotland.
Oh, okay. Oh, I remember seeing her, yeah. And I remember seeing her, and I'm like, you know what? I like this. We have a bunch of different body types in this wrestling tournament, which I think is good.
Oh, certainly. It's wonderful to see. It's wonderful to see. When the Mae Young Classic starts airing, I'm gonna get thoughts from my mom on each of the different competitors about what she thinks about these individuals.
Yep.
And then, of course, we also have a person who's also in this tournament, Candice LeRae.
I've heard a lot of good things about her.
Oh my goodness, Candice LeRae is amazing.
Yep. I have heard some things that will make people sad, though, but I'm not going to say anything.
But like Candice LeRae, Mia Yim, Katie Lee Ray, all these people are really good. Although I think Candice is going to have dibs on that trophy.
Oh yeah. Oh, no. I was thinking Katie Lee Ray for a minute there. Candice, that's Johnny's wife, right?
Yeah, Candice LeRae is Johnny Gargano's wife.
Yes. Well, like I said last night after I saw her introduced, after she wins this, if she does, I want her to beat up Tommaso Ciampa.
Why do you think she's going after that tournament trophy? I mean, it's a nice spiky thing.
Yep. So, I'm glad that those two are together in NXT, WWE, whatever. I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
Katie Lee Ray, I've heard a lot of good things about.
Mia Yim is also really good. Everybody in this tournament, I've heard some decent things about.
Yep.
Now, and those who, and then there are some question marks. We have Marty Bell from TNA, who's okay. And then we have Tessa Blanchard, who's got some issues because Blanchard.
Yeah. I've heard she's a very good wrestler, but she has some backstage issues.
Oh, of course, because again, Blanchard.
Yep. And then we have Rachel Evers?
Yes.
Paul Ellering's daughter.
Yep. She's really, really good in such a short period of time. She's one of those. For those of you looking for old school psychology and the best work punches in professional wrestling, look no further than Rachel Ellering, aka Rachel Evers.
Hey, so I think that'll be cool. I wonder if her dad manages her in addition to the Authors of Pain.
Nah, they've been keeping them separate thus far. That's why her name is Evers at this point.
She did say that she was Paul's daughter in the intro, though.
Okay, so that they actually are integrating that story. Oh, that would be amazing.
Yes,
actually not Paul managing his daughter. It's more her managing the Authors of Pain.
Oh God, that would be great.
I mean, Daddy, can I borrow the Murder Monsters for my date?
Jesus. Yeah.
I mean, if anybody is ever dating his daughter, their dates are probably run out of the room screaming the minute that Paul shows up with the Murder Monsters.
Yes. I would love to see, she brings them on as, her backup. Kind of like Alexa did with Murphy and Buddy, I think. I can't even
Blake
remember.
and Buddy.
Yeah, Blake and Murphy, whatever their names are. I don't even know anymore. And she wins the NXT Women's Championship or whatever. Yeah. I'm wondering what happens. Does the winner of the Mae Young Classic get anything in addition to the tournament or what?
I think I'm not sure. We'll see. Because you get this shiny, spiky trophy, which Candice is eyeing to stab Tommaso with.
Yep. And
don't let the bubbly demeanor fool you. Candice LeRae is scary.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they get their own title, if they get a number one contendership at one of the main roster belts or the NXT belts. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But the tournament itself looks very good. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I have heard some people have issues that it isn't weekly and it's instead being released block and so far out after taping, which I understand. On the other hand, I will say that, a lot of people also did complain that the Cruiserweight Classic was released weekly and they would have liked to see it all at once.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more like a personal preference thing. Like, what do you want?
You have to also do considerably more editing involved because it has JR and Lita as well as Medusa as the commentators. Medusa's good. She actually has been doing a lot of commentary work over the years. She was doing monster trucks.
Yeah. Medusa, we're fine with.
Yeah.
JR, God bless him. God bless you, JR. You mistook Bushi for evil or evil for Bushi. How?
Because, what? They didn't have pictures up for the guy?
Yeah. Seriously, like, how? How?
Well, Bushi does look kind of evil looking.
Yeah, but I mean, apparently Evil came out dressed up as the Grim Reaper.
Mm-hmm. Which is how he usually does his entrance.
Yeah, Bushi and Evil look nothing like each other. Like, I mean, geez, and then you have Lita, who, I mean...
she'll do well in this controlled environment.
I hope she does.
The power of editing. This is why that they're doing this weekly, is because they have a commentary team that they need to, bolster the strengths of and hide the weaknesses of.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they just got a better commentary team, but, you know.
There wasn't a lot of people available, and, I know that people wanted Morrow to do this, but the minute that he sees Kari Sane, he is going to go completely ballistic and go for the roof, a full sail.
Yeah, he's going to go on a full Stardom throwback. Which, I love Morrow, though. He's a good guy. God bless him.
I'm happy he's down in NXT, but honestly, I think at this point, let him get settled into the NXT commentary team with Nigel and Percy.
God. Why is Percy still so useless?
Because he's a primetime superstar.
God help me. Yeah, I have no idea why he's still there. Byron has actually gotten, speaking of commentary, Byron has gotten better lately.
Mm-hmm.
Booker was abysmal on whatever that show was called, Great Balls of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, so was everyone in that damn commentary booth.
Mm-hmm.
JBL's been fine. Tom Phillips is good.
Mm-hmm.
I still like Graves.
Mm-hmm.
Cole has been hit or miss lately, but I know Cole can be good.
Mm-hmm.
They've relegated Otunga to the pre-show,
mm-hmm.
which they should have just relegated him back to being a lawyer for corporate, because good Lord, he sucks.
I don't mind Otunga personally.
I hate him. He always goes on and on and on about how he's so much better than Base Miz, how he has such a better body, such a better wife. Yeah, your wife is way more talented than you, buddy, and you suck as a wrestler. Get over yourself.
And now we'll have a legion of lawyers trying to maul Sal.
It's
really becoming the real interesting show today.
Yeah, I'm just pissing everybody off today.
Well, what a nice 50th podcast for me to do this week on Wacky World of Wrestling.
Yep. I get so many different people mad at me. I got people who like soap operas mad at me.
People who are dude bros who objectify the sexuality of women mad at you.
Yep. I don't care if they hate me, seriously. And now I've got people who like David Otunga mad at me. So that's what, like 2 more people?
Mm-hmm.
Like David Otunga, Jennifer Hudson? Yeah, I can live with that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, folks, this has been such a great show today, episode 19 of Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling. Thank you so much once again for tuning in. Thanks to everybody who I have commentated with over these past 50 shows, for Speaks, for Live After, SmackDown Live, for Live After, all of those different shows. I've been really happy thus far. 2017, you know how people said that 2016 was a horrible year? Well, 2016, like I said, at the year-end show for Speaks was one of my best years for podcasting, and 2017 has been looking even better because I'm now doing 2 shows. We got Speaks, and we've got Wacky World of Wrestling, which I do weekly, and Speaks, which I do semi-weekly, which covers pay-per-views 7 to about 18 days after the show. Our next show will be either Saturday or Sunday. If not, it will be next Sunday for Speaks. For Wacky World, it's our usual start time at Fridays at 1 p.m.
Yep. And before we go, just some quick plugs. Check out Wednesday Night Shooting with Tanya and Swift.
And let's see, Rudo Radio, which airs on Rudo Radio, Not Your Demographic, which airs on Thursdays and Fridays. Also, let's see here, Shooting the Breeze and Two Guys, One Sports, which are our fellow Friday podcast here on the unaffiliated Fridays.
Yep.
On Cage Side Seats. Shooting the Breeze airs at 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Two Guys, One Sports airs at 9 on Fridays. They sometimes do Thursdays because of scheduling conflicts.
Yep. And, one of our friends who also does some podcasting, Big Money Drew, who hasn't done it in a couple weeks, but he does it every now and again. I think he said he'd be off for a couple weeks and might come back later. If whenever he comes on, show your support to the guy because he's very good at it. Does a solo show, which is very different than this, but very good.
Yep. Big Money Talks with Drew Nichols.
Yep. So, check all those guys out. And we hope we see you guys back here for the next show.
Yep. Our 20th episode.
Really? Oh, yeah. You're the 20th episode of this show and what, like the 12th or 13th since the revival?
Yep.
So, 13. So that'll be fun. What are we going to talk about? Previewing Battleground?
Possibly Battleground. Whatever happens in the next week or so of professional wrestling we'll cover, as well as give an update on the world of professional sumo, because it's only at day 6 right now. Yeah. So,
well, we should give a quick update. Lord Hakuho and Aoyama, of all people, are still a perfect 6-0. Kisano Sato, Kakuryu, and Teruno Fuji have all withdrawn.
Okay.
Yeah. And Ura, Ono Show, and a couple others are at 5-1, right behind Hakuho and Aoyama. So,
yep. So this is like we said, this is the Bizarro Bash show.
Yeah, like I posted, I think a couple days ago. After day 4, the Yokozuna had gone 7-5, and after day 4, the Ozeki had gone. I want to say what.
2-7, I think.
Yeah, something like 2-7. And actually, no, it was after day 3. Excuse me. So after 3 days, the Yokozuna and the Ozeki were not doing good. And and now we know why. 2 of the Yokozuna have withdrawn due to injury, and 1 of the Ozeki have withdrawn due to injury. So yeah.
Also, Endo withdrew with an ankle injury.
Yep, Endo did withdraw today. That was sad, but
he withdrew on, I think it was day 5.
Yep. So, a lot of injury withdrawals. But the young guys are still doing pretty good. Ura and Ono Show have been looking very solid. So keep your eyes out for those guys. Lord Hakuho, still 6-0, has become once again the dominator of all things sumo.
And by the way, check out his bout with Takeshi Shoyu in day 4. That is one of the most hysterical bouts I've ever seen in a long time.
Yep. Also, for today's bout, there was a bout with Takayasu and Tochinozan that lasted, I think, like 2 minutes.
Ooh, nice. Need to see that.
Yeah, with sumo terms, is a very, very long match. Most bouts last like 5 to 10 seconds.
Yep.
So, check that one out. And yeah, that about does it for the sumo.
Well, we had a very busy show this particular week on Wacky World of Wrestling. Tune in, like we said, next Friday for the 20th episode of this broadcast. And also tune in either this weekend or on Sunday next weekend for Cage Side Speaks.
Yep. So, you guys all have a good day. Thank you for listening. Check us out next week. Thanks to everyone who participated in the live thread. And we will see you guys next Friday.
Yep. Same time, same channel. You know the deal.
Yeah.
Have a good day or night, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See you guys.